I think that's a rarity. I think, that's another thing that makes us unique. A lot of other schools, it's kind of like a chore learning. But for us, it's, we're, we want to put our minds to things, and we want to discover more about the world, and we want to, gain unique perspectives, build on our own personalities from a variety of, things in life. And I think, yeah, those are values that the element promotes in us.
I'm Glenn Herbert, and I'm an editor with Our Kids. We're speaking with insiders from Canada's leading private schools to gain insights into their programs, culture, traditions, and leadership. This includes insights from parents, alumni, and administrators. This is the Our Kids Insider Perspective.
There's a lot of things, and to narrow it down to one is, I think, I think there's a lot of things I could talk about here, but I think the one best thing would be, as I mentioned before, the student-led learning. So basically, at the Element, you're kind of, the teachers, it's more of a, so we're a Montessori model, and like a Montessori high school. And I think we're one of the only few in Ottawa. So basically, the Montessori style of learning applied to the high school level allows us to kind of, take on our own interests, where the teachers are there to not, dictate the curriculum for us, not, simply teach us what, what they're told to teach us, but they do it in such a way, so they teach us in such a way that we're able to kind of direct our own learning, and we're responsible for that too. And, the decisions we make in terms of, like, what type of project do I want to do, what, which direction do I want to take this essay in, like, those decisions, I think, really built me into a person who knows how to, knows how to take control of their own learning and knows how to push themselves. And also, I think, I think this is kind of a side note, but sort of related. It's allowed me to kind of collaborate much more with, or learn collaboration in a much more effective manner. And I think, like, the Element emphasizes collaboration amongst the students as part of that kind of student-led learning, and working in a team, or simply doing individual work with with the help of my friends, and collaborating with other people. I think that's definitely a skill that the Element has helped me build. So student-led learning, for sure, my number one thing that I appreciate about the Element. Yeah, absolutely. I think, I think there's a lot, and I think the Element is such a unique school. And so other private schools, so I think the Element specifically, first of all, our style of learning, once again, but also we're located, in Lansdowne, and so Lansdowne Park, it's a kind of urban area of Ottawa that's kind of a little bit separate from downtown. And basically, I think we also use Lansdowne Park with all its cool features as a place where we can have experiential learning too. So, like, getting outside, interacting with the community. We integrate ourselves with that sort of Lansdowne Park campus and that community. And I think that's one of the unique things about our school. Another thing that I would say is the way in which we're set up. So other private schools, they might have our standard desk, like each student has its own desk, and you're facing the teacher, and the teacher's kind of writing things on a whiteboard and like that sort of standard style learning. But I think where the element really shines is that kind of Montessori approach that makes it so unique, and the way that they built that approach. And so like in Montessori schools and in the element, we're students are kind of, the seating arrangements are, we're like sat around separate tables, and the teacher might give us a quick little lecture, and then we'll have a couple of seminars, discussions amongst ourselves, and like the fact that the classroom is set up in such a way where students can really benefit from like interaction and discussion. I think is what makes it stand out. Again, a lot of it has to do with the Montessori aspect of the high school. I'm going to start off by saying curious. I think as a person, the element would be a curious person, wanting to learn, wanting to branch out, wanting to discover. One of my other adjectives would be driven. I think that if the element were a person, it would be someone who you would want to get to know and want to work with, because they're they're driven. Be it by they have their goals in life, and they have a good sense of who they are. They have a drive to learn, and they have a drive to better themselves. And I think that's one of the ways in which our school and our the students at our school are unique. So if the element was a person, I would definitely say driven. I'm going to say creative, because that's a huge part of the element of who we are. Be it we're not by any means a school that's solely focused on the arts, and but the art you see on the walls, and the creative projects that you see throughout, like 3D printed stuff, woodworks, different creative projects throughout the school, and the ways in which we the clubs we've made for ourselves, the ways in which we learn, the ways in which we use our space, and the ways in which we see the world. I think we're a creative bunch of people, and the element as a school fosters that creativity. And so I think I wouldn't hesitate to say that the element would be creative if it were a person. There's a number of character traits that really make our students unique. I think, we're responsible. I think we're very, self-driven again, and like we're creative. I would say once again, like we're curious. We want to discover the world, and we want to explore. We want to get into the whys and the hows of how the world works. We want to we're collaborative. We work really well in team settings, and I think we're close too as a unit. The element's a small school, which has ups and downs, but I think like there's a lot of pros to being a small school, and I think one of those big ones is the students tend to be very close knit, a very tight knit group, and you'll come out of the element with a lot of good friends that you'll take into later years as well. There's a lot of buzzword values that I feel like a lot of other schools use. Like I think with the element, we're learners. Like we want to, again, like we want to explore the world. I think the element promotes that value in us to like just enjoy learning. I think that's a rarity. I think that's another thing that makes us unique. A lot of other schools, it's kind of like a chore learning, but for us, it's we're we want to put our minds to things, and we want to discover more about the world, and we want to, gain unique perspectives, build on our own personalities from a variety of, things in life. And I think, yeah, those are values that the element promotes in us. To a lot of outsiders, the element is this, kind of small school on, we're on the second story floor of a two-story building. And so a lot of people think that, we're really this like, this school where, not a lot of people go. A lot of people would be surprised by just the, the prominence we have in our community. There's so many benefits to having that sort of small school and that integration with our, campus and our surrounding areas. And I think, the ways in which we make it work as a small school, and the ways in which we use the space around us to help our learning and help the way we see school is really unique. There's a lot of ways. First and foremost, I think the element has really made me, I'm going to come back to the word curious. I think the element has really made me just more curious in life, more, I want to, learn. I want to, explore. I want to, this whole interdisciplinary thing that I mentioned. I want to build as many aspects of myself as I can. And, one way in which they've done that is to, the Montessori approach that they've taken, and to allow me to, be in my element. That's like, that's a school slogan, and be in your element. I think, I think that carries a lot of truth to it, even though it's, like sort of this cheesy slogan. I think the element put me in a scenario where I can, truly appreciate learning and truly want to delve deep into what I learn. And I think that's one way in which, they've helped me build myself, and they've helped me develop as a person. I think it's evolved a lot. And so when I first enrolled there, my first year of middle school at the Element, so grade 7, was the first year in which they opened their Lansdowne campus. That was kind of a brand new experience for us, because I'd really never, never experienced the life in Lansdowne, and the OMS campus was all I'd known, and the Element was there originally. But so now, seeing the school evolve into great space and a great, we've had the teachers that have come in and really, and I can't say enough about the teachers. They're honestly another pro of the school. They're a really amazing group, and I really enjoy learning from them and learning with them. And but yeah, so like again, we kind of started from the ground up, at least for my first few years, and I think we've really evolved into an established school in the area that's within 6 years, we've become this sort of really well thought out and truly close-knit community. And we're just going to continue to grow, I feel. So there's a lot of unique aspects to the school, but in terms of just why you want to go there, like they're so distinct from other schools in that they're just a really well thought through and a really well. So like I feel like there are a lot of schools that might provide you with sort of like might describe a couple of the same aspects of the element, and like like might say that they're they understand like self-directed learning, and they really push you to prepare you for the next steps. And I think that's something I haven't mentioned either. I truly feel like the element has prepared me for my next step. So that would be one of my reasons. Whereas other schools might, with the more traditional approach, might say they they prepare you for university and the life beyond. I think the element really, really does that because they're so well thought through, and because the Montessori approach is so unique. I think like the preparation that I've received for university and for the years to come, being a community oriented student, being a community oriented person in the future, and preparation for my career. And I think that's definitely a big, one of the three reasons I would say I would really recommend the element. A second is simply, the opportunity to be in, the campus and the space. And I think I haven't really described the element space much, but inside the school we have a super creative setup. It's like we have like tons of student creations decorating all the walls, like different types of art, but also different student projects and student creations that are all there. And we have our design studio focused on different projects. We have a woodworking space. We have a science lab that's furnished with with a 3D printer and tons of cool science tech. And we have a kitchen that's the students use frequently to cook. And the E1s, so the middle school, prepare their own meals, and the E2s and E3s can buy those meals as a meal plan. So the space itself, and just once again, as I mentioned, like our setup of our desks, so that we're kind of more collaborative and more conversational, is definitely a big bonus. So the space itself is a really cool, and Lansdowne campus again, like all the opportunities we can, all the clubs we have that are integrated on Lansdowne. Like we use the great lawn for lots of our gym classes. We have like basketball courts next to us. We have the Rideau Canal we can skate on in recess. So our campus is definitely one of those three. I think the third one would be, to be quite honest, I would say that the teaching staff is phenomenal. I think a lot of high school students in particular, and at a lot of other schools, they oftentimes just don't really enjoy their teachers, and don't really have a good relationship with them, and they feel like they're kind of disconnected from them. And I think the teachers at the element are really, they're all open-minded, like really they know their stuff, and the way in which they teach is like they really make us enjoy learning. And I think that aspect of we call our teachers by their first names, which is pretty cool. And I think like the student teacher dynamic is really really amazing. And I think they're the way in which they allow us to pursue our own our passions. And the teaching staff as a whole is amazing. I can understand that there's a lot of reasons why you might hesitate on the element, be it the small campus size, be it the Montessori model of learning that isn't as common in other schools. But I would say you ask anybody that's gone to the element, literally anybody, they'll say it's an amazing school. They've enjoyed their entire learning process, and those drawbacks in which the things that they hesitated about, they realize later on, and myself included, that a lot of these perceived drawbacks, small school size, potentially the Montessori approach, which I now realize is an amazing kind of method for the school, are actually really big assets for the school, and ways in which the school really can provide that unique learning to the students. You're gonna love it. I would say the biggest thing is embrace the experience, embrace the opportunity you have. Like you're gonna get to know lots of new people, and you're also, so that piece that I mentioned about self-directed learning. You're gonna have some kind of freedoms that you didn't generally have in your other education, and I think just be prepared to take responsibility for your own learning. Be committed. Be self-driven. And I think once you adopt that mindset, you're good to go. The element will be your place, the high school you love the best. So I think, and if I could tack on one other thing too, those beginning of the year trips are really fun. You might be a little nervous at first to maybe if it's your first time going away from home, the urban adventure trips or the Odyssey trip for our E1s, which is a week-long camping trip. You might be a little nervous, but it's an amazing bonding experience, and I strongly recommend that you enjoy that and make lots of friends along the way. You'll love it.
For more information about this school, you can visit their profile at ourkids.net.